Hey there, beautiful souls. Welcome to InnerViews, the podcast where we dive deep into the realms of therapy, healing, and intentional living. I'm your guide on this adventure, Ivory. Are you ready to embark on a transformative journey with me? Whether you're navigating the complexities of trauma, embracing intentional parenting, or seeking self-help strategies, this podcast is your sanctuary. InnerViews is not just a podcast, it's a community. A safe space where stories unfold and healing takes center stage. Your story matters. And here, courageous storytelling is the heartbeat of our existence. We'll be exploring powerful themes like healing, navigating the intricacies of foster care, the strength found in survival, the beauty of reclamation, and the pure bliss of joy. So if you're ready to join hands with a community that understands, subscribe now. Let's walk this path together because the journey toward understanding and well-being starts right here, right now. Welcome to InnerViews, where every step is a celebration of your resilience and a testament to the incredible strength within you. Let's make this journey unforgettable. All right, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Thank you for tuning in to another season of InnerViews. My name is Ivory Bennett, and I'll be your host today. I am so excited, honored, and grateful to have Dr. Alison Davis. Dr. Davis, first and foremost, thank you for being here. And can you tell the audience a little bit about your background, who you are? This is going to be your third year in InnerViews. This is a
Yes.
tradition at this point. We have to start every season with a conversation with you. It kind of like grounds us and sets the scene for the entire season, entire year. But can you just remind the audience a little bit about who you are and how your work is relevant to the lived child welfare experience?
It's my honor to be here. And of course, Ivory, I thank you for not only inviting me, but thinking my voice and experiences or whatever I bring to this platform is worthy of your audience. So I'm really grateful and appreciative of what you see in me or hear through me. So thank you for that. So I am Alison Davis, Dr. Alison Davis by title or label, which I don't necessarily completely, align who I am with that. That's just part of what has been accomplished through the years. But I am a doctoral degree is in counseling and actually supervision. It's an education degree. So I teach. I teach those that will be future counselors. I've taught at several universities, a Christian-based university where we integrate mental health with theology, which I really, really enjoy, and at several master's programs for those that will be going towards licensure. And so on top of that, I am a licensed mental health counselor in 3 states currently, Florida, Georgia, and Alabama, but I'm currently practicing in Florida, as well as to some like a life coach, just not so much a diagnosis, but wanting someone to share the space and kind of navigate. I often refer to myself as the in navigator, and the only way out is in. I'm in the process of my trademark being almost complete, and it is mental health is an everyday, in every way response to life. And so that's the trademark that I'm trying to put out there because I really just want to normalize mental health. So when I say it's an everyday, in every way, it is not about a diagnosis. It's just how you respond in any given moment. And I use the analogy that it's like your diet. Your diet is the food that you eat. We think of a diet as if you're going on a special plan. And your mental health is how you respond every day in every way. That is your mental health. And so I just love that line, and I'm, wanting to help normalize it. So that is basically who I am. I am on a second, third career. I'm a former letter carrier, retired from the Postal Service. I was in those streets, walking house to house, carrying my bag and my satchel. And so now I said I went from outside of the house to in the house. So thank you. That's the nuts and bolts.
That is just also awesome. And I truly, and that's why you're here, right? And that's why this has become a tradition because our values align so deeply. And the work that I do within the child welfare sector is so deeply centered around this concept of holistic health and well-being. I was thinking about yesterday, one of my core beliefs and values is that everything truly happens for a reason. And
Hmm.
I bring that up because when times are difficult or when we feel lost or need guidance, our core values are what are meant to ground us and reorient us back, right? And a lot of times people have difficulty accepting that they were in child welfare, accepting that they were in foster care, accepting that they were in juvenile justice. And I'm not saying that anyone deserves those conditions, but what I am saying is that we all have life purpose. And
Yeah.
sometimes those are just parts of our purpose. And owning that, really, really owning that, really, really accepting that, really, really calibrating yourself to say, you know what, I was in foster care and I survived it because I was meant to. Here's what I'm going to take from that. Here's how I'm going to make it better, make it different, not only just for myself, but potentially for others. And I'm not saying everyone who has that lived experience has to advocate for people publicly, but that's what I'm doing. And one of the last conversations I had with my therapist, even though I feel like you're one of my therapists, but you're not my therapist, but it feels very therapeutic
Yeah,
talking
no,
to
no,
you.
no, definitely. Yeah, I hold the space all the time.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
she was mentioning about, and she does EMDR. I think we do
Hmm.
like behavioral therapy or cognitive
Hmm.
behavioral therapy,
Yeah, CBT.
EMDR. And we were reflecting together, but she was also reiterating and highlighting for me how I'm just in a really deep period of acceptance. And
Hmm.
that's how I've been able to kind of forgive a lot of people for things and just move on from really, really difficult situations, whether it be people, places, or things.
Yeah, yeah.
So acceptance is a really, really powerful tool, being grounded in that. And if you believe that everything happens for a reason, really, really walking in that and allowing that to guide you and be one of your whys. But let me get us back on task.
No, that was good. And if you would just allow me again to respond to what you said, and again, thank you. And the fact that we do completely align with, everything is purposeful. And even though parts of us will want to resist that, and it's the resistance that actually keeps it active. And we'll get into that later. Because the acceptance, it's almost like if you had a sink
Mm,
and things are trying to flow,
mm,
but if there's something that's clogging it, it's not going to flow. And
yes.
so acceptance is almost the gateway to unclogging what's there. And it doesn't
Mhm,
mean you're in denial. It doesn't mean that you're, like giving somebody a pass. And that's why a lot of times, but we'll go into that because I could really go into some behavioral components of why we hold on,
mhm,
because it
mhm.
feels powerful to hold on.
Yes, and it's familiar.
Yeah, it is familiar. Yeah,
It feels safe.
yeah.
And I think if we're going to diverge, let's just go there. I think that one of the reasons people always ask me, because I'm constantly put in a position to talk about my lived experience in the context of what made the difference, how were you able to do the things you were able to do? And I think one of the differences is that there's a fearlessness about me that I truly have to acknowledge. And I don't say that from like an egotistical standpoint. I say that from the point of like, there are a lot of times when I've just had to close my eyes and jump. And
Hmm.
a lot of people with shared lived experiences don't do that for whatever reason. And that's not a judgment call, but I've noticed it is a trend and a difference in the trajectory of my life.
Yeah, yeah.
And,
No,
and
that's really good. Really
yeah,
good.
but also that takes practice, right? Like courage is a muscle that has to be grown. And the more you do it, the kind of greater your capacity for it, I feel
It
like.
is.
And
It's an
so,
energy. It
mhm,
definitely is an energy, and that for whatever reason, you as a child always knew that there was something better somewhere in your
yeah,
conscious or unconscious. And
yeah,
you had a hunger for it, and it,
definitely.
it remained active.
Yeah, and not to
And
get too spiritual, but I feel like my ancestors are also telling me like,
you know,
just keep going, baby. There's something better,
That's
there's
that's
something
that's
different,
not that's
you
again that's a belief system and it's part of it. I
Yeah,
mean, we all have and one of the questions that we go into later is rooted in like ancestry, and you
yeah.
actually use the term rooted. So we'll go on to what we have in store so that we
Okay.
don't answer all our questions on the front end.
I just love talking to you. Okay, let me get us back on script. All
Okay.
right. And then for the purpose of this podcast today, how would you like me to address you? Dr. Allison, Dr. Davis? What would you like? Just
I think lately, I don't know if I've been doing it lately, but it's Dr. A. I just like,
Dr. A.
yeah, yeah,
Okay. All right, Dr. A.
yeah,
I will use Dr. A
yeah,
today.
yeah, just to make
Um,
it nice and simple and easy to remember.
yeah. Okay. So, Dr. A, we've lived through a year, personally, professionally, and spiritually. This season has just changed me. So, I want to start off. This year taught me blank.
Okay, so starting with me, this year taught me, I have this catchphrase now, and now that we're at the end of the year, alignment is the assignment. And
Mm,
so it taught me that slowing down is not losing momentum. What's important is to be aligned. And so
mm,
we'll go more into what alignment means. And so I'm choosing aligning my desires, my energy, my thoughts. Like just like a car has to be in alignment. If it's not in alignment, you will feel the bump. It
mm.
will stay. But
Yeah.
that's why, like, everything almost requires alignment. If you have any top tier athlete and what they're fine tuning, their training is alignment. If you throw that ball, align it. Everything comes down to if you want the best results, it had your arm, your shoulder, your hip, like everything requires alignment. So that's a major statement, but it's not one that we practice
Mm-hmm.
because we'll get, I can elaborate more, but alignment is the assignment. And now, how you figure out how to do that, it's like any muscle that has not been worked.
Yeah.
It takes a lot.
It takes a lot of time. And I kept thinking about muscle memory as well.
Hmm.
And that alignment. Athletes spend so much time not only practicing getting the ball to the target, not only
Hmm.
practicing positioning their body accurately, but they have to do a lot of work on the back end. They have to go to
Yeah.
chiropractors to make sure their
Yeah.
spines and their skeletons are straight because that is what holds their muscles together, right? They have to go to massage therapists and make sure they tend to their muscular health. They have to make
It's
sure their
really,
nutrition is on point to support the cellular regeneration of all of those components. And people, when they go to these games, they don't think about all of
they
that back
don't.
work. They don't think about the nutritionist. They don't think about the stretching. They don't think about the
Hmm.
chiropractor. They don't think about the icing and the heating and the resting. Rest is so
Hmm.
important for professional athletes who take themselves and their bodies seriously. And you can even see this with the longevity that athletes have
You
throughout
can,
their career. Those who burn out after 2 or 3 years versus those who are able to do, what they do for 5, 10, 20 years.
yeah,
Um,
no, definitely. And I mean, even you look at ice skaters and you look at people, and we awe at the magnificence of what the body is capable of
yeah.
doing. But I'm
Mm,
glad you brought up the point because a lot of times when it comes to mental health or it's an everyday and every way response, we don't realize that it's work.
it is.
And sometimes what I've come across is that it often feels unfair
Mm,
to do the work for the damage that was done to me.
mm, I think
And
that, yeah,
and
yeah.
that's why we don't want to do the work. Well, not that we don't want to, but there's internal resistance. Like, but I didn't do this. You did
Mm,
this. I didn't
mm,
create this. You,
mm,
yeah. Now I gotta fix it.
yeah. And unfortunately, for most people, they don't have a lot of examples of what doing that work looks like.
Exactly.
They really just don't. There's so many,
It is
we think
so
about
true, Ivory. It's so true.
when we think about family structures, right? Because that's really what child welfare is about, family structures and broken
Hmm.
family structures. And that's when the government intervenes and steps in and takes away children. When we think about them, so many, if I would even argue to say most family structures are so broken.
It's
People don't
so
have positive coping mechanisms. People don't have emotional intelligence skills.
at
People don't
all.
have the ability to have restorative conversations or to meaningfully engage in conflict and to resolve that. Conflict resolution is what I'm searching for.
Yeah, yeah.
My brain is so scrambled since becoming a mom this last year. But and I'm here, and that's what I wanted to say. So this year taught me that there can be beauty in the mess. And there can
Hmm.
be value in the mess, and there is still love in the mess. And I
Yeah.
have never felt more Dr. A cognitively impaired in my entire life until I became a mother.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's why he was sent to you so you could get
Yeah,
a broader
yeah,
perspective. Like that's why these things aren't haphazard. You were chosen by
yeah.
him and you chose him.
Yes. And I remind myself of that all the time. And I don't know how you feel about astrology, but did you
Yeah.
know that his birthday is only a few days before mine? And
I
so I
did.
feel, yeah, so he's a little Virgo. And then my
Yeah,
daughter's
yeah.
birthday is a few days after mine. The whole house, or just, or synced in that way. But
No. I don't think anything, he was there at the right time. You
yeah,
desired it at the right time, and those paths came together.
they definitely did. Again, it happened for a reason beyond him needing a mother, beyond me being willing to
Hmm.
do this. And one of the reasons that I want to reiterate that I did this is because I thought it would be incredibly hypocritical of me to be a national representative for child welfare reform and to talk so much cash stuff
Hmm.
about what people did not do for me, only for me to show up in my family and not be available for the children who needed me as well. And so I felt like that was one of the biggest reasons. But also, I do feel like Jaden called me in to be his mom.
Of course,
You know,
no, he did.
I feel well prepared to do that, even though it feels so crazy.
Well, and the analogy that you make, I use that analogy all the time, but I just changed one word. I use the analogy from the movie Beauty and the Beast because they always
Oh
work side
yeah.
by side.
Mhm.
Always, always, always. And it is for us to find the beauty in the beast as the beast finds the beauty in beauty. So they're
Yeah.
always there. They're
Mhm.
always there. And sometimes it might look like a needle in a haystack. It's not as easy. But if you're a focused person, you'll find it. Yeah,
Absolutely. And he's actually triggering a lot of healing for my inner child.
of
And
course.
I'm realizing how much I did not get to be a child. And so it's almost like I get to grow up alongside him in some strange way.
And
And
also, like you said, areas of forgiveness and compassion for what
yeah,
it means to be a parent and for those that may have made parenting decisions that you didn't understand. It gives you an opening to at least understanding it from a different perspective.
I will say that's one of the most unexpected elements of this experience so far is that
Hmm.
like I have a newfound because I had probably about I would say 12 to 15 different caregivers over my life. And I
Hmm.
didn't really necessarily appreciate the way they did what they did. But becoming a mother has really given me a new almost compassion for them because this
Yeah,
is not easy work. And if you haven't done the work on yourself or you don't have the same faculties, and I'm not again saying this from a place of ego, but like I have a lot of emotional intelligence. And
yeah,
the fact that this is still this difficult
right,
blows my mind. And like
right. That's
I didn't it's like oh my like
It's like
you
I
just have to
know where to look for help. I do have help, but
yeah
like many people, like the average person, especially when we think of, like you said, going back to ancestors and even parents or even grandparents, they didn't have access, didn't even know to ask for access. That's how
yeah
obsolete it
yeah
was. It wasn't a matter of where do I get help? I didn't even know help was an option. We just
absolutely
thought like the hand that you're dealt. You just need to know how to deal with that
yeah
hand. And if you couldn't, throw the hand in and let somebody else deal with it.
absolutely but I mean there are pros and cons to that too, right? Because even though they didn't have the frameworks that we have or the access to the technology that we have, we had more of a village back in the day and we had more of a connection to one another. And I feel like now parents are much more isolated than they've been in the past. I mean, I wasn't in the past, but from what I've researched, what I've been told, people were more connected in terms of their family units and their community units. And that's also something that's been degraded across time. And you said something that I want to highlight for our audience too is like I feel like in Black culture specifically, Black women
Hmm.
have had
Hmm.
to absorb a lot of those needs throughout our
Hmm.
community, and that doesn't go without consequence. I mean, we can look at the health disparities of Black women on average, and it's not great, it's not ideal, and
No.
so. I also know that, and I like see the impact of that on myself immediately, and I'm like, please help someone,
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
getting more help, but when we take it back to that belief system that everything truly happens for a reason, I have to constantly remind myself too that for me personally, and the things that I've been called to do in life and the things that I've been called to be, I don't necessarily think I experienced being a single mother because of some stupid choice that I made. I think I
Mhm.
experienced being a single mother because I needed to understand firsthand what it is that single mothers feel and how I can support them in their needs when I have the
Right.
resources and I'm able to do so. And oh my goodness, Dr. A, my heart breaks for single moms who don't get relief and who
Yeah.
don't have
No,
access to the things that I have access to because it is incredibly just soul crushing at times. Just the exhaustion alone is
it is. It
unbearable.
is. Circling back to a point that you made, when we look at what I refer to as the different chapters. So our parents and grandparents, I look at life as this great, big, amazing book. And so their chapter, it may appear that they had more of a village approach,
Mm,
but it didn't still have the emotional part
yeah,
of it.
yeah,
So we're even though we have a broader array of options in one sense, but they both are void of the emotional
yeah, yeah,
ingredients or what it takes. And so that's why we see it passed down generation to generation. And a lot of things actually have gotten worse as we pass it down because it's watered down,
yeah.
parenting die and from every angle, the social systems, so yeah.
I agree with that. Okay, let me get us back on track.
Okay, all right.
Okay, so when you look back at this year, what surprised you about yourself and what showed up that you weren't expecting but maybe needed?
Similar to what you said is what I have down here. I discovered that I can hold tenderness and boundaries, which is what you're talking about, even as you see yourself as a mom. At
Mm,
the same time, I use the word to use a strong word without losing myself, but I don't think I lose myself,
yeah.
but with staying on being purposeful in the sense that because for us in as a society, I think boundaries is just so difficult because when you see someone that has boundaries, it almost feels like rejection, or it almost feels like they're being selfish. Like if they say no, or if they're like, I get off at 5, I'm leaving at 5. And,
Mm-hmm,
and you're like staying to 6, and you're like, wait, why wouldn't you? No, that's their boundary.
mm-hmm,
And
mm-hmm.
so we don't take well to boundaries. So just discovering that no, it is okay. It doesn't require being validated by other people to, set some personal perimeters to your space.
I love that. And it makes me think, I'm going to bring it back to capitalism. I know my audience is probably tired of me on these soapboxes that I'm standing on all the time. But capitalism doesn't respond well to boundaries because what do you mean? We need to be able to take as much from you as we can and then some. And so when you set those boundaries, you not only take back your power from the capitalist machine that is the America when you're thinking about the USA context of this conversation, but you are saying, no, whatever it is that you're trying to get from me is mine to claim for myself. And I'm going to dictate
Right.
how and when and if I decide to share it with you and open myself to you. So
No, I
that's
think that is a good point. It's a major point, and I think it's a really big part of social learning. And so social learning has taught us that, and it continues to teach us with this mindset. But then if I were to ask you, do you believe that you're the creator or co-creator of what
mm,
you happen to experience?
mm,
Because it starts in your mind. So
mm,
yes, even though they may want you to think this, they're outliers. There are people that say no. Mm-mm. I'm
yeah.
I'm not buying into, but it's so socialized that we think that if you don't, you're going to be left out. But do you think that, because I did write down everything is first created in our minds. And
Mm,
so you ask yourself, is something possible or is it not possible?
mm,
And so what's not possible was formerly known as impossible. That's
mm,
impossible. And
mhm,
then we broke the word impossible down to
mhm,
I'm possible, which is
mhm.
just such a shift.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
what you're talking about, the whole capitalism, yes, we'll say that's facing reality. But
Mhm,
we're now shifting to I must create my reality.
mhm,
But as
mhm,
long as you face it, you're going to stay in that mindset of
mhm.
you got to do this, you got to go this, you got to follow this script.
Yeah,
But the
yeah,
outliers, they don't.
yeah. It reminds me so
What do
much
you
of
think about that? Creating.
I believe it. I believe it to be true. And I think that's one of the reasons why, as a child, I was able to survive a lot of the circumstances I experienced. I had a really vivid imagination, and I will
Yeah.
credit my mom to that. She was a writer and like a performer. And so, and in that kind of way, she opened our eyes to like the creative aspect of interpreting
Mm-hmm.
life and things. But also, I was exposed to storytelling and I was literate, so I could read to myself and like delve into these worlds of different possibilities of different
Yeah.
ways of living and existing. And because of that, I never thought that the life that was in front of me was all that there was.
Mm-hmm.
And also, because children have this really resilient nature about themselves, I was able to envision differences from my life. Well, when I get older, I want to have a house. And when I get
Mm-hmm.
older, I'm going to drive a car. My mom and my grandma didn't drive cars.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't have houses. They lived in apartment buildings. They
Mm-hmm.
lived on subsidized housing,
Yeah.
but because I was able to, in my mind, creatively envision and imagine those things, I feel like I was able to manifest them, even though it
Yeah.
took time. That's the thing
It
that
doesn't matter.
it's
The only reason why it took time because you were always either foot on the gas, foot on the brake. I believe it, I don't believe it. But anytime, if you probably look back at any of your thoughts and you really was very focused and like, you know what, I'm going to get, I'm going to go to the grocery store and be out in 10 minutes. I'm going to be out in 10 minutes. I'm going to be out in 10 minutes. When the mind is focused and sustained, you'll get it. It's the unorganized mind. And if
yeah,
we were to talking about how to shift it, the mind has to be organized. What do you want?
yeah.
Stay with that thought. You don't have room to doubt it.
I
But
will
that's a whole
say,
nother. Mhm.
having a baby though, I'm learning to recalibrate all of that.
Yeah.
It's not so. Yes, I could go to the grocery store in 10 minutes and be out in 8 before having a child. Now
Hmm.
it's going to take about 18 to 25 minutes because we're going to have a meltdown in the milk aisle. We're going to snatch cereal off
But
the
if
thing. And
my point is, if you continue to say it and expect it, your
yo,
thoughts are, mm-mm.
okay, I need to get myself together.
Yeah, you got to organize. Like, no, 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 no. We're going to be in and out, 8 minutes, break, meltdown, and all. Like, I promise you.
Okay.
If the more you think what you think, the more you get what you think.
I know it's that concept of magnetism too,
It
right?
is.
If you have positivity in your mind, you're going
And
to be
expectations,
connected.
like you
Yeah,
expect yourself to be no, that's a whole, but it is a challenge because that person becomes a distraction and then it takes you back to what you said, the familiar. Okay, we're going to be here. Okay, this. And so
yeah,
then that gets the momentum, that gets the energy.
yeah, yeah.
It, it's a work in progress because it's a belief in progress, first of all.
Ooh, see, I'm recalibrating. Okay, next question.
I know.
So, you and I often talk about repeating lessons. This is really relevant to this conversation. So, what lessons kept circling back for you, and how did you know it was time to finally pay attention? Again, I think like becoming a mom is just revealing to me how much of a childhood I never got to have,
Yeah.
and how much of that I'm still worthy and deserving of that, even though I never got to have it, and how
Hmm.
important it is for me to protect that for my son now, and
Yeah.
also give myself back permission to be in that childlike energy, to be in a place of receptivity, to be in a place where I can be held and considered and supported. And so, when you look back, what lessons repeated for you this year?
No, and I love that for you that you recognize that, where you are is where you are now. And that's what's most important. And so, what I recognize and continue to recognize is that my happiness, my well-being is fully my responsibility. And so, contrary to, us outsourcing like that, if someone does something and don't meet your expectation, then you think like, oh, I need to be whatever emotion that shows up. And even if it shows up, let's say annoyed, irritated, sad, whatever shows up because of someone else's behavior or lack thereof, ultimately, it is still my responsibility to get back to my equilibrium or whatever it is, to my happy place, my safe place, whatever it is. And really just, you know what? I relinquish everybody from
Mm,
making me happy.
mm,
You can only enhance my happiness now. You
mm.
cannot make me happy.
That is a tall order. Especially with the toddler.
Yeah, yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
oh my goodness. Yeah. I mean, it just takes me back to the earlier part of the conversation about forgiveness. And like, I don't know, silly me. I didn't know that like being a parent requires so much constant forgiveness because it's like they do stuff that frustrates you, but it's not from a place of malice. It's just from a place
Mm.
of curiosity and development. And, I have a 2-year-old now. So he's been in
And
the
he's
church
on
too.
he's on his own journey. I
Yeah.
think that when it comes to parenting, we talked about parenting the last time a little more, is that they come into this world to explore. They
Yes,
come
that
into
is
this
their job.
world not thinking that no is an option. They
Yeah.
come to this world and we, think because not only because we have a hierarchy of power, because we're on a time and we got this to do and we got this to do, but that doesn't stop them from being who they came to be. But what happens is well-meaning parents start to put the water out the fire, like, don't do that, don't do that, don't do this, don't do that. And then when they get into school and other areas where now you want them to be assertive, but you took the assertiveness out. And so it is a delicate balance of like, how do I allow you, to have the personality and your temperament, but at the same time prepare you. So I understand your point. It
Mhm.
is. It is a delicate balance because I want him to be expressive. But does it mean that it has to interrupt your happiness because he's having a tantrum? You know what? You have every right, and I'm okay with that. It's not convenient, but I don't have to invest my emotions.
Yeah, yeah. It's a new level of regulation.
It is. And
It
and and
really,
self
truly is.
mainly I self-talk. Just
Hmm.
because so it may be a trigger because now it may feel like, okay, I'm getting unorganized. It's probably an old it's hitting an old trigger. And I know we're not in therapy, but that's what it is. Because
No, it
now
is.
it,
It's
it
it's
feels like
perfectionism. It's
right and
responsibility. It's
right.
timeliness. It's
And
it's
I'm losing control. I'm losing
yeah,
because I didn't have a lot of control. So the other things that I have control, I really want to be able to hope to maintain it. So
yeah.
now you're showing me, ma'am, I'm not on your schedule.
He's not, and he's not. And I have to remind myself it is his job to explore. That is
It
what he does.
is.
He's an explorer, and the world
Yeah.
is his oyster
Yeah,
to.
yeah.
And yeah, I'm constantly reminding myself like he's not working like you. He doesn't have
No,
an agenda today. He's not on a schedule. He doesn't have any appointments to his knowledge. Okay.
at
So
all, at all.
like,
Yeah, I would tell a little bit of a sidebar to students like Walt had an imagination, Martin had a dream, Dora was an explorer. What are you? What are you?
love that. I
I'm
really
having
love that.
fun. Like maybe if you change your what am I? I'm a
Yeah.
fun, loving, wonderful, enjoying mom that loves this. I didn't get to do that. I didn't get to be expressive like that.
Yeah, I think for
He's
people who have
showing you, like you said, I never had a childhood. He like, look at me.
this is a childhood. Have fun. Come join. Come join. He's like, here, come on. Here,
Yeah,
mommy.
yeah,
And I'm like, no, I'm not ready.
yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, I think it's hard though, because for those of us who
Yes.
have lived experience, that self-actualization where you give yourself permission to be anything and
Yeah,
you don't have to do anything to make yourself worthy of that can be really, really difficult to
it
accept.
is. Yeah,
I
it
mean, for a
is.
long time, I had this concept of like, I had to be perfect, I had to be high achieving, I had to
Yes.
work the hardest
Yeah.
and longest. And before Jaden got here, I kind of was releasing myself from that. But like
Hmm.
you said, it's almost that last little bit of that. Like, are you sure you released that?
Yeah.
Let's practice
'Cause
and see.
I always say it's you do have probably like like on your phone like you have open apps
Yeah, yeah,
and that open app is like still pulling energy. So
yes.
somewhere part of that is like an open app. There's
Good.
some energy
Yeah.
that's there. You don't realize that that it's open until it's
Hmm.
triggered. It
Hmm.
may be more minimal. It's not dominant, but
Right.
it's somewhere in the background because otherwise it'd be like, "Hmm." You'll
It's
know when it leaves because it won't feel the same.
it's still there and it adds
Yeah,
up. And I think that's also what the acceptance was, the
of
conversation with my
course.
therapist was about
And our
because
social learning and all of that, like, oh, people gonna look at me and wonder, all that internal dialogue that may
yeah,
instantly come in with, Like how am I being perceived and what are you thinking? And, what kind of parent is she? Like the self-doubt and the second guessing and all that. It creeps in a New York minute. You don't even know.
Ah, a New York man. I love New York, by the way.
It just
Okay,
shows up. Yeah, go
yeah,
ahead.
yeah, totally. So, what part of your life grew roots this year, and what part felt
Ooh.
completely uprooted? We kind of just talked about this with my life. Like, clearly, I became a mom, right? But I think part of that uprooted like my entire identity, and now I'm having to shift that around and let go of things and replace them with other things, perhaps. And so, for you, what part of your life grew roots this year, and what part felt completely uprooted?
Yeah, it continues. The roots are there, but they just go deeper in the ground. Like there's certain trees, they'll even say like the palm tree, even though it's tall and slender and it looks like it'll, sway and do whatever, it will sway. But the roots are so rooted. And so my roots are just going deeper in the ground. And then sometimes you'll see a huge tree after a storm and like it's completely flipped over because it was never rooted. So my objective is to, recognize the things that I really now embrace and just like have them so rooted. And so one of those, as you ask, is my own self-trust and my values, which my values have been what they are, which is a lot of inclusiveness and, valuing each day and moments in the day and just, recognizing what I'm here for. And so just really anchoring in that self-trust and values. And what's uprooted, it's similar to yours, maybe like timelines over functioning roles. And so, because I'm like on time and not to the point of, anxiousness or I punish myself, but I'm just gonna get there early. So just relaxing more in timelines and do I have to go? Like, is this a good investment of my time? Do I want to invest 3 hours to go to this function? No. So just that uprooting some of those gotta do to do you want to do? Yeah.
That's very valid. And as an introvert, I totally understand. Sometimes I have to push myself though. I'm like, okay, don't be selfish. Don't avoid everything because that's also not fair to the people who love you and want to spend time with you. But
Yes. So in that space, I have cameo appearances because I'm not introvert. I guess I'm the one in the middle, they say.
ambivert, ambivert.
hmm I
Mhm.
enjoy being there, but like most things, like I like small bites of it. Like even I like small portions.
Yeah, yeah,
That's when I can really enjoy it. Like if it stays at a small portion, it's
yeah,
like really good. That's why they give you hors d'oeuvres because it's the bite size that makes you think you want the main. Like, but when you get the main meal, it doesn't taste the same. So I try
yeah.
to keep my
Quality. Quality.
yeah, yeah, it is.
Mhm.
And so I have cameo appearances. They're like, when did she leave?
So you make your Irish exits, is what they say.
Yeah,
You're in, you're out, you wave,
yeah, 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 yeah.
you're out.
Right, right, right.
I like that. I need to start doing that more because I am
Keys in
I'm
it. I don't bring anything in, so you can't tell. Like when I go to like somebody go to the door and you see their bag and like, oh, you're leaving. You don't see a bag.
I don't need a bag. You're here for a good time, not a long time, right?
Yeah, yes, yes, yes.
Okay, we are so far behind, and that is my fault.
Okay.
But I could talk to you for hours about all this kind of stuff. But we did want to talk about releasing. So, what are we leaving behind? So, when you think about 2025, I cannot believe that when this is released, it'll already be 2026. What
Yeah.
are some beliefs or habits, or even a version of yourself that no longer fits the life you're seeking to build in 2026?
I think what I wrote was equating worth, with productivity. Because like we do, I do a lot, you do a lot. And I don't know that I really equate it with worthy, but maybe somewhere there might be a low key, like, oh, worthiness. But what in the last month, it's the fragility of life, like just, people just passing through that was here and just recognizing to have a bigger appreciation for just everything. Just often like I appreciate my eyes. Have someone that I work with that's not able to see and just being more appreciative and letting go what seems to be a big deal. Like, what is that? So what? Like, oh, but I always kind of been kind of that que sera type person, last born and all that kind of stuff, like whatever, So that's not too far, but just really just want to like breathe and recognize, wow, I can breathe. Just like really just take it all in moment to moment. Like somebody will say, like, well, how was your day? I'm like, every day I will make sure it's special in some kind of way for me, even if it's that sip of coffee and I just kind of like savor it. So what I'm not what I'm it, you really asked like what no longer fits. So what I'm giving you in place of that is what I'm really doing is savoring. And so what no longer fits is giving attention to whatever's not working, what other people say it's not working. So it's the focus of my attention and releasing, things that may not give me what I want.
Mm. You kind of already answered the question I was going to ask you too. So for our listeners who struggle with letting go, what's
Hmm.
the first gentle step that they could take towards releasing what's been holding on to them too tightly? And you kind of just said that, but do you want to reiterate for them one step
You
to
said it actually, Ivory, when you started the segment this morning, is acceptance. So I
Mm,
think acceptance is a form of releasing because no matter what it is or who it is, it's like if you've done your best, if it's a relationship or if you had nothing to do with how things happen, like just accepting. And
mhm,
even if whatever is your best seems to not meet your expectation, just even accepting that I'm still doing my best, but I think that acceptance is just so key to your psyche. Because
mhm,
I think that's where we have that inner critic where we blame and there's shame and there's guilt and we just have, even some of the worldviews, like we believe that, if you're a mother, you need to be this. Acceptance is all moms are not nurturing.
mhm.
Our moms are not nurturing at all stages, which is the one that I don't think is emphasized enough.
That's
Some
very true.
people are really good, gooey, ooey toddler moms.
Mm. I don't even know where I fit on that spectrum, to
Because
be
you haven't gotten to the
honest.
other ones yet. And some people are
Yeah.
really gonna like this. I told you, Maya Angelou actually said her mom was really a good between adolescent and young adult mom. Her
Yeah,
mom nailed that stage. She
yeah,
might not have been as effective in some of the other stages. And
yeah.
I think we don't even accept that. We have this idea of motherhood is like you said, the word perfection through all the stages. And like,
Mm-mm.
mm, I need
No.
words. I need more independence. You need to get that for yourself. Like we could roll when you like, now I'm good. We good. Like I really enjoy 3 to like 10, like ideal, like that.
You love 3 to 10?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
I'm gonna send Jaden to you.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
In about
Yeah,
a year, he's gonna
yes,
come.
yes, yes. That vocabulary, that mobility, that I don't want to match, that independence that's still cute.
Yeah. His independence is not always cute to me, I'll be honest.
No, that's what I'm saying. But
But
he's
it's so important though. It's so
yeah,
important. Yeah.
yeah,
I mean, I think I'm probably very affectionate, but I've been trying to be more intentional about how I'm showing up in these seasons, but particularly because this is my first season with him, right?
yeah,
But he also needs a lot of that because he didn't get that when he was in foster care. I mean, there's rules around how
yeah.
foster parents can even interact with their foster
Yeah, no,
children.
no, yeah, work with foster kids. Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
They can
So,
hug, they can't go in the room, they can't, and
yeah.
obviously there's some that may cross the lines, but for the most part, no, it's very
Yeah.
detached oriented. And if you're already coming from detachment, it's
Not
just
good.
going
Not
to
healthy.
build that space. And we know detachment when it comes to other relationship is the glue. Without the attachment, it's very difficult to later put a glue that's sticky enough to stick.
Yeah, so I've been trying to do lots of cuddles. We do lots of story time. We do lots of kisses. He gets a lot of affection, but I
Hmm.
also try to balance that with like his developmental needs. And I'm like, okay, how many books are you reading a night? How many
Hmm.
times can we talk about the colors in the sky and observe nature around us? And so I digress. I'm back to talking about my child again, and
No,
that's how
that's okay. I love it.
I'm.
That's what the space is for. And also really evaluating, if anything, just I love to hear like laughter, no matter where. Like if
Yeah,
someone laughs, someone look like because it's like, oh, there's a moment of joy. Like I remember working with a coworker and she just had a robot. Now some people have a really robust laugh. And
yeah.
so even with kids, I look like instead of the focus on the tantrum, how often is he laughing or
Oh,
that?
he laughs so much, and I
Yeah.
love that, and it
That's
feels like medicine to me.
it
Even on
is.
like a bad day, his
It's
laughter.
medicine to him.
Yeah, and he
So
has this
that's what
big
you want
jump
to check
back.
in with. How are you feeling? Oh my God, is this fun for
Yeah,
you? Like,
yeah.
not, like, yeah, always asking. And I think I mentioned last time when Condoleezza Rice in her book, Ordinary, Extraordinary Parents, she just really mentioned how she was so included with how she
Mhm.
felt about things. And I think
Mhm.
that's what most parenting miss. How
Yeah.
you feel?
I'm gonna have to send you a recording of his laughter today when I get home.
Yes, please. Yeah.
So let me move us on though. So I'm going to go to segment three where we talk about carrying forward what we're choosing for the next season. So when we think about 2026 and beyond, what did this year strengthen in you that you're intentionally carrying forward?
I think continuing to pivot from all the responses provided, just this sense of discernment. I guess if I was going to use the word discernment, which I feel I'm pretty good with discerning, and just continue to build on that more unapologetically, but never not without a good spirit, because I want the spirit to always be in alignment, but discerning without feeling like I need to think of what's more important to you than what's more important to me. So discernment in a way that works for me, which they always said I was that way. Like when I used to work at the post office, they would say, "Oh, you just brown nose." And I didn't even think about it like that. I just thought like, well, I'm doing what worked for me. Like if because a lot of people didn't get along with supervisors, but I did. But
I understand it. I think it's like when you have a curious nature too, right? People
yeah,
they see that as a threat. In a lot of cultures, like curiosity is not encouraged. It is dis
no, it's
because
and
it
it's
goes
a
against the
deal breaker
norm.
to me. When I talk to therapists, I'm like, if there's anything like whether it's a person culture or how they show up with something, like be curious because otherwise you're going to be judgmental. And
Yeah,
that's far worse. That's far worse
absolutely. And just
because
like
you don't know why.
you don't know why, and it's fun to figure it
It
out. At
is.
least to like, you don't have to arrive at as a concrete conclusion, but it's
Yeah.
really fun considering the
To let
different
your
possibilities.
brain like open
Yeah.
up to all the different options where it could be this or it could be that, or what you thought was an oversight could have been that maybe they're just dealing with something else. Like, because then it becomes part of how you see situations through a much broader
Mm,
lens, not black and white. Well, you didn't speak to me because mm-mm.
I agree with you.
So
Okay.
discernment, and the ability to
Yeah.
pause more during the day. Like I'm a pauser in a sense. Like, okay, let's just sit in the car and listen to this, or
Take
yeah.
those moments. I think you mentioned that in one of our previous
Mhm.
conversations about just finding moments to give yourself, whether it be a few
Yeah.
breaths or to reflect on something you're grateful for.
Or walk out the door for more like, I don't know, you all are probably in a cold environment. We're like 82
Yes.
some degrees. We're like literally almost record highs. We're in the 80s, but
Please, you don't have to brag, Dr. A.
yeah, and it's sunny and a nice warm
Uh,
breeze and
well, actually, we're having a hot front right now. It's 49 degrees. Okay.
see.
It's a very warm day for us. And no, yeah, I mean, just taking those moments. And even it's so funny when I go pick Jaden up from daycare, I'll be holding him and he'll just bend his little head back. And he's really heavy. So it's actually sometimes scary when he does it. But he'll look up and say, the sky, the sky.
Yeah,
And it's just like him taking that moment to be grateful
yeah,
for outdoors and for the sky and its expansiveness and its
yeah, that's so
blue
good.
and it's all the clouds and things. And so, yeah, that's totally beautiful for real. So, okay, we're running out of time and I hate this, but that just means that we're gonna have to
Okay.
have another conversation.
Yes, yes,
Um,
yes.
I'm
Yeah,
gonna
at
try to get
the
us
very beginning of the year, it could be like, yeah, so this is the end and then the beginning. So yeah.
okay, so segment four, and then we have segment five. I'm going to try to condense them for us. But the
Okay.
safety that we seek, inner and outer sanctuary.
Hmm.
So, can you talk about, in the midst of all these changes that we're making, given our last experiences in 2025, what are some things that we can do to truly make ourselves feel safe and to also foster safety for others in our lives?
So I personally, and I guess even more now in this chapter of my own life, realize that the body and the way the Creator created it is how we do that. And, other cultures, Eastern cultures, have always been a lot more attuned to their body, whether it's through the weather and, my knee hurt.
Yeah.
So I think the safety comes in. I just not too long ago did the body keep score, which again, the body is the first communicator, even in a child. That's why the child cries, because the body is communicating something. You don't even need language. The body is going to communicate. but you have to be like, attuned to your body. Like even if you say, I feel tired, but where is it showing up? Where in my body am I feeling that?
Mm.
And so that sense of safety. So if my tiredness is actually in my whole physical body, like I just feel, or am I, like you said, I need rest. And so how do I respond to that? Maybe I can't go back to sleep. I had to get up, but maybe I can just sit still for 10 minutes and just, tell my body, okay, we've been here before. You can make it. You're good. Let me talk to my body.
Mm.
So I talk to the cells. I'm like, cells, you're wonderful. Thank you. Like
Yeah.
just taking a moment to think all this inner engineering, this
Yeah.
inner intelligence that has no limit. We think this brain, the part that we think that's all knowing. It's all
No,
these
our
systems. We have
body.
11 systems that live in us
Yeah. Yeah.
that we're
Yeah.
not controlling. We're altering by what we eat, do, and say, but we're not controlling it.
Have I sent you my poem body?
No.
I'm gonna send it to you when we're done talking because
Yeah.
that poem really honors our body and the cellular magic that it holds, and just
Yes.
also the ancestral knowledge that it
Yes.
holds.
It's there.
It is so
We
there.
don't.
And
That's
yeah.
why I think I say it each time with Harriet Tubman, as far as my ancestral there's others, but like Guru or just because she didn't get the memo. And it's
Mm,
something about her, like because when you think of it and you put it in perspective, the only thing she had to have different was a belief system.
hmm hmm Yep. hmm
Because you can't even make it make sense.
No, but she was also very, very magical and very, very spiritual. They say that
Because
she,
that's what I mean. Yeah, her
yeah,
belief
yeah.
system. Yeah,
And
she was
she,
aligned. To me, she was in alignment with her source. She knew what her source was. It wasn't man, it wasn't this, it wasn't ideal situation. There was no navigation system. That's
no,
100% alignment.
no
That's what
navigation.
alignment looks like to me.
Yes, I mean, like people don't know history because if they
Yeah.
did, they would be in awe of what she did.
You
She got
can't even,
people from the south to the
yeah.
north, no compass, no
No,
GPS,
no, she
no
left her husband, she discernment, like, okay, you don't want to go by,
babies crying in the night,
yeah,
people scared, dogs tracking
no,
them. Like
yeah.
people just do not understand the depths of the work
And
that she
she
did.
attracted people that were allies that didn't look like her, but was willing because her energy on freedom aligned with other people that wanted that for her.
Mm.
Okay, that's
This
a
is
whole.
why we always get off task. Okay.
Going back to the original comments, is alignment is the assignment.
Yeah,
It's just
absolutely.
what you align with, and you have to watch your words. You have to watch, like if I go in the store and I say this, what am I aligning with? I'm
Mm,
aligning with what I'm thinking. So
that's
how
so
am I going to get anything else if that's what I have decided to align with?
that is so powerful. Okay, I'm going to try to wrap
Okay.
us up in a few minutes. Our last
hmm
segment is on building a safety toolkit for the new year. So, Dr. A, could you give the listeners some things that they can put in their toolkit that helps to regulate the nervous system or anchor the heart in life as we move towards 2026?
So I would say that it starts with, again, the mind, which is where we have to realize that everything is created there. It is the ultimate motherboard. It is what the Creator gave us, but He gave it to us with what we have words and language and a choice. And so we have to be mindful of what we're choosing. Even when we think we didn't choose it, you're choosing it by default because you're not being intentional on what you choose. So, what I say is commit yourself to creating a mindset of whether it's peaceful, joy, loving. What do you want? You have to be intentional with your thoughts and you have to create it. You want safety in the body, but you can't be like, oh no, the doctor said this. You got to sustain the thought.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
It's about not just having the thought, but you can't have one foot on the gas and one foot on the brake. Imagine you trying to drive, you would get nowhere.
You would get nowhere. You would
You have
stop,
to sustain.
damage your car.
Yeah, this is what we call faith. Like people say, use the word faith, but you're not exercising it because if you don't see it, then you don't really believe it can happen.
What does that say? It's either a Bible quote or just like a church thing where what is it? Faith without works is dead.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and so we have to have faith. And I keep reminding myself, I've been telling this to a lot of my peers and my friends too, that like it's one thing to put in the work, but then you also have to leave room for faith because you can only do so much. You can only be so much. And
Right. No,
you have
the
to
faith is the work. So here it says like I was organize your mind. So if you were to really to close it up, organize your mind, what would that look like? Because once you organize your mind, it actually organizes your whole system. You have to have your physical body, your mind, your emotion, and your energies organized. And so I know organize when we're doing work, like you organizing a shelf or you're organizing this, what are you doing? You're putting things in a specific place. So how do
Mhm.
you organize your mind? You put your thoughts where you want them to go. How do you organize because once you do your mind, the rest of it is going to fall into place. But you have to be consistent.
Yeah, I
And
absolutely agree. I agree. I'm just really grateful for you. I just keep reflecting on that. Like, wow, what a privilege and honor to be able to share space with someone who has so much wisdom and knowledge, and you share it so freely and so generously. And so
I don't even see it at that, but as that, but thank you. Like it just,
I did, well, I'm someone who I don't have a lot of elders in my life who like, depart their wisdom on me or who even know more than me, if that makes sense. A lot of the
Mhm.
elders in my life are not really mature or nurturing in that regard. And so I'm really grateful for people
Yeah,
like you.
you have a good hunger, you have a good discernment, you have a good energy, and you attract it. And that's why if you recognize the things that you have attracted, it's not luck. That's you're the co-creator. You have such a hunger, it comes to you that you happen to rendezvous or be at places in these divine interventions. That's why you have to really organize it and try to sustain it. Like throughout the day, yes, I want to be around wonderful people. When I drive, I want to be around the best drivers, those
Yeah,
that are, yeah, like all
that's
the
a good reminder,
time.
especially in this weather.
Yes, well, not ours weather, it's just the congestion and everything. But yeah, if they pass me, I'm just going to admire their car.
Hmm.
Mm.
hmm I
So
think you're
throughout, like even when I'm driving, like say I'm on the highway and I'll look at signs that's up and I'll just pull out a part of the word if it says like income. I'm like, okay, income, come in. Like I
hmm
just like
hmm
play
hmm
with like, use all those spaces to create what you want.
mm I'm hearing that everything can be inspiration.
It
And
can.
Jaden is a constant
If you're
reminder. Yeah.
intentional and you're really like if you really take ownership, like I'm creating this.
hmm
Why
hmm
am I not creating? Because what we do, we'll see a problem and we'll stay on that. And that's the part we'll tell. And that's the part we'll keep talking about instead of, you know what, I really want to go in the store. I'm using the store because you gave that example. And
Yeah.
I'm really knowing that he's well capable of, but like, let's not say what reality, let's say what I want. And let
Mm,
that be the dominant part of the conversation because the reality only comes to give you clarity on what do you want? What do you
mm.
want in this? Then make that your dominant thought.
On that note, I'm hearing for 2026 that creation is our calibration, okay? And so we create and we calibrate our lives according to that. And so that is a
You don't
beautiful
even have to believe it. It's going to happen. That's the beauty of it. It's just like gravity. You don't have to believe it.
but we're here. I'm sitting in a chair,
Yeah.
and we're anchored to the
And
earth.
that's the
So,
same thing with our energies and our ability to create. It's initially, it starts in your thoughts. And we
abs-
live in a thought world, but we let our thoughts literally hijack us.
absolutely.
Like
Well,
I'm not going to be hostage to my thoughts because they're my thoughts. Like my body, like
mhm, mhm.
mm.
On that note, that
All right.
beautiful, beautiful note, that empowering, fantastical note, I am encouraged and excited about 2026. I'm super excited for our listeners to have experienced this conversation. If y'all
Mm.
want to learn more about Dr. A, feel free to reach out to her. Her information is going to be in the show notes. And let me know what you want to hear this year on interviews. We are wanting and willing to cater to your needs and your wants and your desires. Thank you all so much for tuning in to another episode of Interviews. We hope that you have a wonderful day and that you come back soon. Thank you, Dr. A.
All right. Thank you. I hope you feel better. Enjoy the holiday season and talk soon.
Thank you.
All
Peace.
right. Bye.
The InnerViews podcast is a production of the Safe Camp Audio Network, which is a division of Youth Voices Rising via Fostering Media Connections. Please visit safecampaudio.org on the web or Safe Camp Audio on all major social media. This podcast was produced and mixed by Christine Onjoko. If you enjoyed this episode, we'd love it if you consider sharing, subscribing, and or giving us a 5-star rating on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you download your podcast.